Good morning and welcome to today's live show. Today we're going to be doing some technical analysis for the SPY, Qs, Apple, Tesla, Amazon, NVIDIA, AMD, and Meta going forward, looking at GME and AMC as well. Just a quick reminder, if you need those weekly ranges, the Patreon link is down in the description, and we have the course at only $100. That's right, only $100 until 5 days from now. You have 5 days left to get that course for $100, and then it is going up, and this might be one of the only sales that I have for the rest of the year. Okay, so I really want to encourage you guys, if you need to learn or things like that, I get it. It's awesome. I wanted to put out a course that was very, very affordable, and there you go. We made it more affordable at $100. So just pay attention to that going forward if you need to learn a little bit. Now, today we need to talk through some of these stocks. We're seeing some downward moves. We're seeing some upward moves. Right now, the SPY kind of unconfirming this 30-minute curl up. So we have to be very reactive in a market like this. Noticing the 2-hour as well. We'll have to see if this is able to actually go negative here, break through these lows. But we're heading down towards that daily expected move very early on. So if you need those daily expected moves, make sure to put those down on your chart. For the Qs, we have a similar story happening here. Maybe this is just some kind of pullback or something like that, but the 30-minute, if this crosses over for the Qs, well, it's built up a little bit more. So if this curls over for the Qs, I'm expecting at least maybe some kind of divergence. If that doesn't hold up, well, then we might see something crazy outside of this. 32% of the time you see something crazy, 68% of the time you're going to land back in this zone. All right, so pay attention to that going forward. We'll be watching these throughout the morning here. Apple, this one here, kind of getting above that weekly expected move, starting to see some reactions. So we'll pay attention to this. Right now, you do have a divergence. So if that starts to complete, you can get an overall pullback is what I would say for Apple. As we look at a 2-hour, you just see this could be more than a pullback. Now, it could be more than a pullback, but we could create the structure to now head higher. So I want to pay attention to this. If this curls over, curls back up in a positive territory at any time. Now, Tesla's a big one, okay? Tesla's a big, big, big one. This is one that if you're a part of the Patreon, I actually started to scale in right here. Now we're seeing an upward move, which means Tesla's getting really excited, and I'm going to get really, really cheap pricing on this position that I've taken. So I like to take an initial smaller position, and then when I see the next turn up, just in case something bad happens right out the gate, when I see that next turn up, okay, that is when I apply the next one. So that's what I'll be looking forward to today for Tesla. Very, very cool to see. Hey, yesterday, someone came in and said 220, it's going to hit 220. And I said, well, maybe not today, maybe tomorrow. And hey, look, it's hitting 220 today. So very, very cool. Thank you. Someone came in and literally said, like, it's going to hit 220. There you go. Nice call. This here hasn't pulled back in a long time. Okay, it hasn't pulled back in a long time, so I do believe that this might have a struggle bust to it, but we'll see. That is a massive move higher early in the morning here. We have a 5% move higher, which made sense. Some good news came out for Tesla, and I'm just scaling into an overall position as we approach that monthly expected move. So I'll be scaling into some kind of position for some kind of downturn. We'll make some money out of that play going forward, but Amazon, this one here, curling up, trying to go probably towards that weekly expected move. If it curled down yesterday, that would have looked like a lower high, and NVIDIA here coming down to lower levels. So now you really have to pay attention to more so the 2-hour. See how the hourly looks wonky. Really, if the 2-hour curls over, okay, awesome. And we just want to be patient. Look for some kind of trade setup. That's what I'm going to be doing going into today and tomorrow before we actually have a day off of trading. So we're paying attention to that as well. Okay, the AMD going back down towards that weekly expected move. Now, this is where I was overall saying, hey, we need to create a stronger base probably. Yeah, when you go to a weekly expected move, you see a bounce, but you really want to confirm that that's going to be a bottom. You want some kind of higher low. You want some kind of divergence for a stronger base, some kind of momentum dying out. And that's what I'm going to be looking for from AMD today. And then as we go over into Meta, we see a similar story, not necessarily by a weekly expected move. So this one does not really have to create that divergence. We could head lower, but for now, AMD looks like an okay setup. That's what I would be looking for Meta as well. It's just not by a weekly expected move. Usually I like them to be at those weekly expected moves. As we look at into AMC, we're finally seeing that 30-minute is or that 15-minute curled over. The 30-minute is going to probably curl over this morning. So you need that to buy back up very early on to see some good stuff out of this. But as of right now, you would say 30-minute curls down, okay, gets close to the center line. Well, maybe we're just gaining some buyers at lower levels before we want to make the next move higher. So pay attention to this from AMC forward today, and that's really what you have to look at. If the 2-hour starts to curl over, that means it is definitely not the moment, and you're probably heading back down to test 437 if this 2-hour curls over. I just want you to be aware of that. Now you do have potential here as you are positive to make some kind of higher low. So really just paying attention to anytime that 30-minute curls up, and if this, sorry, I have a hair in my mouth. If any 2-hour curling up happens, if this wants to cross over. There it is, got it. Whew, that was close. I was eating hair. Okay, and as we go forward, GME, a little bit different, has the 2-hour divergences, but dropping to lower levels, maybe it wants to make a near-term stronger base like we did over here. So if I'm looking at, like, say, a 30-minute or something like that, maybe it's just a quick turn down, turn right back up. We'll see, but this signal right here was pretty good. This was a great scale-in opportunity. You got multiple points to scale in at. One right here. Where was that actually? One right here, and then the next scale in right here, and then we see a push. That's awesome. Now we want to see that again with that stronger base. Okay, so 15-minute, maybe we do see this drop down, curl back up, get something like this. We're not by the weekly expected move though, so we could head all the way down to like 2150 or something like that by today. So, or by this week, we could end in that area. So just pay attention to that. You do have room to the downside for GME. Now, volatility going forward, we just put out a video on Patreon talking a little bit deeper into these things, looking at the weekly expected move. So if you're looking for an actual video that tells you about what's most likely to happen, and I think the only one not really doing what we discussed was Tesla. Tesla was originally, it looked like it was coming down in the post market, and then we see a rapid move up, but that's all right. What do we notice here? The 30-minute did see that pop we were talking about. I said, hey, volatility most likely will be higher up in the morning. It is higher up in the morning. Now it's starting to fade back down. So we could fade that entire thing, see some buying come in. Maybe we make a 30-minute divergence here or something like that. Wanting to look at a 2-hour as well. Look at that, rejecting the cross down, not able to cross down. So if that just turns and goes positive, that's not going to be a good sign for the stock market, or at least it will be a good sign for more volatility. That's the overall way to take it. In the morning too, TLT is bouncing, but I want you to notice how negative it is. We do have Jerome Powell talking in, I think, like 7 minutes. He does a little chat or something like that. And then, or maybe I have it backwards. Let me see here. Fed Jerome Powell talks at 8:30, and then we get the JOLTS job openings at 9 a.m. So let's really pay attention to the signals around 9 a.m. All right? We'll be good with it. Dollar starting to drop off here in the morning as the market kind of drops off a little bit. So that's something to pay attention to. Possibly some buying going on there. All right, how you guys doing this morning? Everyone doing good? You need some honest opinions on some stuff? Happy trading, everyone. Yo, Tesla's ripping. I'm thankful for this because I am like scaling into this Tesla play. I took my first scale in. I'm not posting these trade setups because I'm not posting the Tesla trade setups because I thought something like this could happen. So this is where it's like very, very small position in here with the signals I was seeing in the shorter time frames. Now we see the upward move, and so I'll look for another signal up in here and I can scale in over time. That's kind of the benefit of being a position trader. It means this losing trade here I can maybe turn into a winner because I did a small position in this environment. I'm doing a lot of small positions, so it's very nice because now this will head up higher. I can get a really cheap price, and then boom, if we see any kind of drop out of this, I'm gonna make something out of it. I'll just cost average that thing. Good morning. Thank you. Sales bad, Tesla rips. Yeah. Well, it's because they said something about AI for Tesla too last night. Last night Tesla was posting some stuff about AI. So it is what it is. You're going to see this type of stuff all the time. Eventually this thing will pull back, and I think that that'll happen very, very soon. And we'll see other stocks start to rip, maybe like NVDA or something like that. So now, what did you want to see? You want to see BB? Yeah, let's look at these for you. BlackBerry, this one here, first of all, 2-hour is positive, about to curl down negative territory. So that would tell you maybe, you know, this is a rejection divergence, very good. Hard to get into because that move was already like happening. But if this curls down like this, that would be great. You tapered this way, now you taper this way, then you can start the trend going back up. So something like this would be a great look for BlackBerry here. Now the 30-minute getting down by the center line. So the other part is if that curls up at any time, hey, next positive move, probably going to beat out these highs, go a little bit higher. But for now, you have to look at that 2-hour as you are dropping down in the pre-market here. What's the other one here? Let's look at Lyft. I'll look at Lyft. Lyft we've discussed a few times. You're seeing a very similar look here. Very similar look, and you got the 2-hour divergence right here. Now you're curling up and going positive. So that can be a positive thing if you need to make a stronger base. You notice, see, like Blackberry we just talked about, making that tapering turn into flatness, turn into up. That's kind of what lift is doing. If it needs to grab some more buyers, it might do that again, right? Curl over on this 2 hour, give you a little divergence down here. That would be nice. And then right now though, you want to pay attention to the 30-minute. If that 30-minute curls up, it's a good shot. That lift is going to head higher than these highs over here. You have a good shot of that happening. I just want to be clear about that. You're down by the center line. This is just pretty much a swing trade, but not the best bullish swing trade. Look at this. It could take out that high, curls up, takes out that high, maybe goes and makes a new one. This is where having a range for the stock is very useful, because this move happened on Friday. Where did it end? It ended here, so that would tell me maybe the weekly expected move is here, and we're about to go touch the other side. We'll see if that's able to curl up today. Yeah, I'm going to short Tesla. But like I said, I didn't. So if I'm doing a play and I think it is very probable, then I'll post it to Patreon most of the time. I'll post like the trade setup. I won't tell you guys that I'm specifically taking it, but usually if I'm posting a trade setup, I am taking that play. And then overall, you need to know in this environment, we're scaling in with small positions in something like this. So I'm scaling in with my first small position. And then if another move happens up, that's where I really like to double down, go a little bit heavier. So I'll most likely go a little bit heavier this morning if I see it set up for myself. CGC. Okay, that's not a bad look. 30-minute, you got some divergence across the way. You probably have a 2 hour with that. You have a bunch of little 2 hour divergences as well. Right here is the main one. So it is dropping off again. This is a speculative one, I'm assuming, because this is not seeing any kind of good buying come up. But you're coming into an area where you bounced from in the past. You do have 2 hour divergence. You're just really far away from that center line. So it's going to be difficult, is the overall take here. It's going to be very difficult. So the daily, you'll notice that it's very negative at this point. It doesn't mean you can't see curl ups, but on the daily scale, this was very helpful, right? You see the divergence here. You knew that this was potential to head down from here because of the divergence on the MACD and on the RSI at the same time. So these two things here, it doesn't lead me to believe there's much strength in this. You're at the 200 and you have a 2 hour divergence. That's pretty much all you got here. And you have it across the way too. So you have it across all this. This would be one that's like, hey, it's risky and I could take a chance with it, but I know that it's being fought against or something like that. I don't know the problem that's going on here like I do with AMC and GME, but if this 2 hour could confirm, that would be a good sign for some kind of daily turn up, which the daily looks very close to rolling back up. So I'd pay attention to that 2 hour rolling up and then see what happens. You got to manage your risk. Like in every trade right now, it's like even Tesla right now, I got to manage my risk. That's why I have a small position, because I knew I was getting in early. I knew I was getting in with like a little 5-minute, 15-minute thing going on. So I knew that I needed to use a smaller position. It was only a few $100s. Okay, then in the next position, I can add a few more $100s and get a better price and get way more contracts, which is kind of nice. So Lucy, we can look at Lucy real quick too. We haven't looked at Lucy in a little bit, so let's do it. Lucy looks like maybe curling up on the daily scale. That's a very good swing trade right here. That's what the swing trade is. And look at that. If that curls up and goes positive, uh-oh, you might see another big move from Lucy. That's pretty much all we got to talk about there. 2 hour curls down, not the moment, but you'll see the 30-minute here looking like it's getting closer to the center line. So if that's able to curl up, you might get that daily to cross. Daily momentum can take over for Lucy, guys. So Lucy here, if this just pops up like this, okay, that'd be a good signal. If it holds throughout the day, you would see maybe a daily closing like this, and then daily momentum might take over. So that's something to pay attention to. Powell is speaking right now. It's just whenever I watch him, I kind of hate myself after. So I get so bored. I'm like, he just says the same thing over and over again. It'll be interesting, but I think the data is probably more important. What is Solar Edge Beer Blanc? Oh, and make sure to smash that like button. If you guys are liking some of the analysis here today, smash that like button for me as you enter in this morning. Sedge. Solar Edge Technology. So there's a lot of speculative ones that people send me that are just dropping down dramatically. You're seeing no tapering here, so be very cautious with this one. You're not really getting tapering. you're getting a bounce up on a 2-hour, you need to get closer to the center line before I would do anything with this one. And that's just me being honest. The MACD, you see how deep down the daily is. So yeah, you can see some kind of push, but a lot of the time you need to see at least a 2-hour divergence, some kind of pop, drop, and then you see some kind of tapering. Right now, you're just falling off a cliff and you're kind of moving down and sideways. Not the best look. You'd really want that sideways to turn into some kind of divergence here on the 2-hour, and then the daily can curl up. The problem with the daily is you could get some kind of reaction up to the 20, up to the 50, and then just see that thing fade right back down and do this, and then you'll get a big daily tapering. You know, we do something like this over time, and then you see the divergence down here. That would be more so when I would pay attention to the stock. Doesn't mean we can't V-shape. It's just I like highly probable trades, and this does not look like a highly probable trade at this moment. If you know more about the problem and things like that, if this thing has a problem in it, I don't know. It seems like almost every stock can, but you're getting a weekly turn down. So I'd be very cautious with this one. Yeah, he's speaking at a bank forum, and really I just want to be paying attention to this JOLTS job openings number. Okay, let me go look at. Alrighty. NVIDIA, wanted to check out this one. Just we're dropping by about 2.1% this morning. So we got to see if that 2 hours crossing over. As of right now, it is. So I think the likely scenario is we start to drop down to lower levels like this. I think that would be a likely story at this moment. AMD calls are green, man. That is a great little look here. I really thought we needed to make the stronger base, but it's just curling right back up. So that's a great sign. 30-minute actually meaning something here. Originally, it was curling down dramatically a little bit down towards that 155 level. And then now it's just right back up. So there you go, curling up, positive territory. Okay, we can see a positive move. Maybe that's 2 hours going to curl up and go positive as well. You just kind of want to take it step by step by step by step by step. Tesla, look at that move higher. So we have the monthly expected moves up as well. The monthly expected move, I think, is just a little bit higher than this one. So you got about 7 points higher to get to that monthly expected move. All right. What else you guys chatting about? One more good day, like $5, maybe see 228, 229. That actually would make sense. 227 to 229 would probably make sense. But you gotta say, this thing probably needs to pull back at some point on the 30 minutes. So now that we've bursted through a zone, right? This is how I like to do these type of things, is I see that burst through the zone, okay? If that starts to pull back into the zone and then curl up, okay, maybe that's the moment we actually head up towards that monthly expected move. Because a lot of the time when you break into a zone, you come back down into it and then you use that area as some buying to head higher. It just needs to cool, yeah, and I'm saying it needs to cool off because if you just keep going like this, you're just asking for some kind of big profit taking. Oh, let's look at Chewy. I'll definitely look at Chewy because this is interesting. Look at this. Remember, guys, Keith Gill is the reason that the stock is going massively up, even though when he posted that he had it, the stock goes down. So it doesn't quite make sense there. 2 hour curl up is the thing. I think that this might be a little bit of a distraction now for something like GME. Right, dropping down to lower levels, just sitting there like no, they're not worried about GME anymore. They're like, no, we got to worry about Chewy, and then it just starts to build up over time. So to look at these two, AMC just looks like a little bit better of one. See if this is able to hold up throughout the day, because if this curls over, it tells me, hey, probably not the moment, right? Yeah, and Chewy goes down. So it's like once he posts his trade, Chewy goes down. So I don't see, or he didn't even post his trade, right? He just did the SEC filing, but it's like he posts his SEC filing and the stock goes down, and they're like, oh, he's manipulating it up. It's like, well, no, because he didn't do anything. All he did was buy the stock. It's like, if that makes the stock go up, then that makes the stock go up. TSLY? Let's go look at it from a straight up, just momentum perspective. TSLY. Put a space there, but yeah, you're seeing it another move higher here for this guy. Just going higher and higher and higher and higher. So this is another kind of just vertical one, probably daily momentum just taking over at some point. Boom, you see that go up. And then we just start to, I mean, it looks like it's going to keep heading up. We'll see. There's no real weakness that I see in it besides the fact that, hey, it really needs a 2 hour solid pullback, doesn't it? Like, that's all you can say about it, really. It just needs some kind of pullback. I wouldn't be chasing or anything like that, but this thing looks like it can just keep ripping. I think it needs to at least do something like this, get back into this area. I think this area would be solid for it to go back to, do something like this, and then curl right back up, right? Do this. I think that would be the best look for this guy right here to remain healthy. And I overall like to draw things like this, not like, oh, I assume this is going to happen. More so, it's more so, this is what I would like to see to take a trade. That's more than how I draw things out, just so we're clear. What is LPSN? Oh, live person. I thought it said liver person. I was like, what? Looks kind of flaggy there. What's the daily look like? You're trying to make that higher low, but you're not necessarily seeing the strength out of it. So daily curls over, not the best look. 2 hour is by the center line. So the main thing you would say here is if that 2 hour is actually able to curl back up, that would be a good sign for some kind of swing. Okay, that turns up. Now maybe we make a big move to get a little bit overbought. So I'd really look for that 2 hour to curl up. If that doesn't happen though, there's nothing really bullish to be had. The 30-minute is curling up, but look how flaggy that is looking. That could drop down one more time. If it creates a divergence, okay, cool, but you're not looking like you're gonna create a solid divergence. Maybe this needs to leak up for a little bit more time. Good gosh darn morning over here. God, this eye is just killing me. If you guys don't know, I've gained some eczema on my fucking right eyelid, and it just drives me insane. Wait. Hi, I'm Adam. Yeah, Powell's speaking right now. Oh, we can look at Lulu. I walked by a Lulu. We went for a walk the other day. Walked by Lulu. 30-minute divergence on the RSI, not on the MACD at the same time, first off. Secondly, 2 hour crossing up, still a little bit farther away from positive territory. And then lastly, the daily scale. You had some divergence for this pop. Now you're getting some kind of rejection. So I'd be looking for this to close above like the 9, seeing if that can go positive, and then maybe a big move is able to happen. As of right now, is the weekly showing anything? Because Yeah, maybe waiting for that weekly to turn back up. So you see how the better time to invest based on the weekly scale here, you see the weekly divergence on the MACD on the RSI at the same time. This was a great area to say, hey, I'm taking a chance right here. And then boom, that heads up, little back off, boom, that heads up, little back off. But over time, hey, that proves itself. So very, very cool look there. The 30-minute, you just have some little stuff going on. I would look for, as of right now, the 30-minute, if you're trying to trade based on that, well, you'd be chasing just a little bit. It still has some room to go positive, but I'd really like to see a stronger base, some kind of just small push down, because you're going like this, then you're going like this. Now and you already did a little bit right there, right? But you probably want to see that across the way to see that good trade setup. It's not saying you can't swing trade or something like that, right? Daily scale, you can't like try to take a chance on it, something like that. If it's at a good level to invest, right? Pretty decent level to invest. You see rips from there, but I'm just telling you right now, I'm not necessarily seeing the best setup in the world. I am seeing a divergence here that was very, very cooked, right? This was very cooked. So I'd really like to see if this is going to reject down here. I'd actually like to see that dip a little bit lower. I think that would be a better trade setup. Or if this just rejects, starts to close above these moving averages, you're probably going to see a daily momentum start to take over actually for Lulu. We'll see. It's been very negative, so just got to be very cautious with it. Make sure you're managing the trade, which is what we do in the course, guys. Yes, UVXY will always continue to get, it has decay in it, so it will always be getting a new low, right? But that 2369, I still think like the volatility turning up, you need the SPY to drop as well. Like that's the thing too. So the reason that I'm not doing anything with UVXY is because I think that the actual trades are in the individual names, not necessarily the SPY and the Qs. The SPY and the Q is very flat and sideways. Meanwhile, you're seeing rip arounds like NVIDIA going down 2%, AMD going up 2%. You're seeing Meta come down 2%. You're seeing it rip back up 0.5%. You're seeing Microsoft kind of pull up, then pull back down. You're seeing some good movement across a lot of these stocks, even SMCI and things like that. So we'll see if any of these are able to set up. Look at this, 2 hour curls up. Hey, positive territory could be there. Could be a little swing trade coming for you. Might even be wedging in this area. Let's see if we're wedging or anything like that. Probably something like that. So if that breaks to the upside, that might be a good sign. I bet on the hourly, it looks kind of clean. Yeah, see the hourly. Not really the best divergence on the RSI, but that hourly turns up. It's still within range to go positive, and you have one divergence here on the MACD. So some kind of dead cat bounce, some kind of bounce could come from this. We'll see if that's able to confirm. Very important for things to be confirming in this market. AMC holding at that 504. GME wanting to curl up on that hourly. Just remember that 30-minute curls over for AMC, that tells you pullback. We've seen it a ton of times where people think that it has to go up, it has to go up, it has to go up. And then we get one simple curl down. And I say right here every time, like, okay, this means we're going to be pulling back. And then look at this, we pull back, we cross back up. We go, okay, that could be it. All right, we curled back down, so not the moment. All right, not the moment, not the moment, not the moment, not the moment. I think GME was a little bit more smooth. This one was negative the last time it curled down too, around these areas here. But you'd say the big move happens, okay, it curled down. See how like a big move happens up towards 47, and then we curled down right here, and I say, hey, yeah, this is telling you a big pullback is coming. And then what happens? Well, we pull back, and we never cross back up until we're way down at lower levels. The cool thing about like GME and AMC is you're starting to like tighten up. Now you're not seeing that from the Bollinger Bands necessarily, but you're seeing that from a perspective of just like big swings into smaller swings. Big, big, medium, medium, small, small, really small, really small, really small, really small. So you're kind of bottling up like something big is about to happen. But we'll see if that's downside or upside. I think we'll see that soon. JOLTS comes out in about 14 minutes. Are the yields at all reacting, TLT reacting to Jerome Powell? Because look how deep down TLT is, down by that weekly expected move. So a pop here makes sense, but you're still very far away from the center line. That would be a better look. Yep. Toby, everything's pre-recorded. We add to it every once in a while. So a couple videos have been added to it at the bottom, how to manage your trade, how to invest. Have we put investment in there? I don't know that we have put investment in there. I can't remember. Let me go check. But yeah, you can watch it on your own time. That's the good part. And then I give my email a bunch if you ever need to, you know, ask a question or anything like that. Yeah, we still need to add the investment portion, but the good part is when to get out of a trade, don't get screwed. That's pretty much the managing of your trade. It's a very good one right there. Make sure everything's looking good. All right, cool. Tesla looks like it may just do what we were talking about, beam up towards that 227, 229 level. Really, it's really looking like this monthly could maybe turn up if it keeps seeing positivity like that. Is Tesla about to go for some kind of huge run? It's about to run into a trend line too, by the way, Tesla is. Let's make it touch multiple points here. I think that's probably the best way to put it, and I'll leave it like that, but yeah, 229 right in there. Then maybe we back off and head higher. So there's your trend line, heading up to that area. Apple seeing another move higher here. 30-minute not confirming that, so very cool. Ooh, Amazon starting to confirm a little bit there, though. What is going to happen with this data this morning in about 11 minutes? Kind of crazy market right now. You're seeing Tesla go up towards its monthly expected move 2 days into the month. That's pretty nuts to see. You do not see that often, let me tell you that. Let me turn on some tunes. A little different vibe today. Just for a little bit. Here, we'll do this one. Got it. AMC is creeping up, and SMCI, first off, SMCI curls up on a 30-minute. 2-hour curl up is where I'd be confident there's upside, because you're kind of in a little bit of wedging happening here. Getting a little tighter, curls up, awesome. Even an hourly turning up would be solid. You have the divergence down here, not necessarily on the R side at the same time, but if you kind of cut out this low, you do have it on both. So hourly turns up, I think you got a good shot for positivity. But there's always two sides to a trade, right? Still pay attention to your risk. That's what we teach you in the course. Where's the trend line on Tesla again? If you take it from the previous two massive highs, You take it from all these highs, just the most points where it can touch the most times. It's right above you around 2030. If you hit it today, it's right around 2030, which is right around the 200. So there's a lot going on. Think about its mine. I feel it sinking deeper as I occupy your mind. Only multiply. Now, AMC, someone says creeping up. 30-minute. Did it ever curl down? That's the big thing. Ooh, good move. It's bright that I can't control. Yeah, Tesla's going up way too fast. Yeah, Tesla's going up way too fast, but this is solid from AMC this morning. See if that holds for 7 minutes, because that turning up would be a good thing. Yeah, JOLTS in 8 minutes, so. Or 7 minutes now. I think you gotta wait for some data. It's a rock in our stream, right? We trade like water on this channel. Make sure to hit that like button, because if you trade like water today. How do you know when to take profit or keep taking that good dividend money? Well, with these ones, what you want to look at here is like, is it making a huge significant move? You want to treat it kind of like an investment or something at this point. So if you really look at the monthly, it's probably looking pretty decent. But what we want to look at is a daily scale and just see if that's going to pull back. It's not necessarily saying, like, you probably have a decent price and you're making that dividend money, so it's probably not the worst place in the world. But Tesla options income ETF strategy, I wonder if that's going up when the stock goes up, right? So why did it suffer so much back here? You need to research into why it was suffering here. Well, this was suffering because of Tesla maybe suffering with the stock price. Okay, so that means if Tesla's stock price suffers, then we're going to see maybe some bad things, right? So overall, it says, hey, you got a head and shoulders. Someone mentioned, I think Tesla had the head and shoulders as well. That's starting to play out. It's kind of up to you and your risk. If you always want something in it, a lot of the dividend stuff that I've done, I've sold like half my position if I think that there's going to be a bigger overall pullback. That way I'm not out of it completely. I'm still making some dividend money. But as of right now, I would say this really needs to at least back off for a little bit. It's starting to get really, really cooked. Let's look here. So like even these levels up here, look how cooked it was. Well, this was the first point where it was cooked, and that like ended up going higher over time. But you would say these levels up here, now you have divergence. So maybe it's something more so that you would hold on to until you see that daily divergence at this point. Or you see a daily divergence on Tesla, and Tesla has not given that daily divergence, but you're about to hit a trend. It's kind of up to you on that one. At least like at the end of the day, you'll still make dividend money if you hold or not. What about GME? Yeah, if you're straight up being a dividend guy, then most of them just hold the whole time, but what they would do is they would hold and they'd acquire at lower levels. But if you, like me, I trade, when I do dividend stocks, I still trade them back and forth. I'm like, I more so treat it as like, oh, I'll hold this for 6 months. Okay, then it turns down. All right, cool. Resistance for GME, the main one, the only one you really need to know is the 2766. If you get above 2766, that's where you can see something crazy happen. So this is the biggest resistance of the week. All right. And then support, you would say right now 50, and then that lower expected move down towards $21. So really, if you want to look in the shorter time frames maybe and see some kind of resistance, well, you would say, let's take a look here. Well, we gapped below this level, so this level is probably important. And we gapped again over here through that level. And right here, we saw a break of that level, and then we saw a good move up. We used a little bit towards that level as some support. So I'd say there's a little box right here. If anything, you'd just be like, hey, let's just draw a line at this right here, look across, and you'll see there's reactions around that level, gaps, resistance above that level, gap, gap. So I think that 24.56 looks pretty good. And then if you get above that, 27.66 is the main support, or the main resistance. Is that a, Tom, is that a ticker? Superconductor. Why does that sound like... Oh, we've looked at this before. Ooh. Every time you say my fucking name. This looks like a 4-hour swing trade if I've ever seen one. 4-hour closes above these moving averages, crosses up on the MACD, crossing the center line right now on the RSI. So you start to close above here, you got yourself a little swing trade. And then you want to watch out for a divergence at these levels, but 4-hour turns up here. 4 hours fine to do swing trades on. Now, daily could still be pulling back, so you got to watch out for that, but daily keeps pulling back. All right, that crosses above this at any time. You actually could see a nice positive move. I really like the 4-hour on this one. I think this will be an early indication. Gold. Uh-oh. Whoa! There's that big move. 84.72. But that's a big ass move for oil. I'm coming for you. Whoa. Starting to create some divergence here for Palantir. Watch out, Palantir. Tesla's still trying to go. We got 1 minute. 50 seconds until we get the data to drop our to drop. All right, let's see if this little 30-minute signal is gonna happen. Say my fucking name. Ugh. Flash crash is coming. Ooh. It's like we're in an environment where it can happen at any time, but I don't know about a flash crash. I think if they're gonna do that, they're gonna wait until what, end of third quarter, fourth quarter. For the depths of the 20-boost chambers. Yes. So Tesla, I'm going to start taking positions. So I took my first position in here, and now I'm adding to that position up towards the monthly expected move. And then pretty much it's saying like by the end of the month, Tesla's going to end lower than 210. But all you need to know with this scaling is if this just drops down to here, I'll probably double my money just because of this is a small position. This one's going to be bigger. Burn for eternity. Day. I don't have any pants to drop. That's facts, Trevor. Job openings increase. More job quits, job openings increasing here. I'm gonna short Tesla for a little bit with a position for the pretty much the whole month. I think what Tesla ends up doing is probably now with this kind of movement, it probably curls back into this area, curls back up. Let me see something like that. But I'll just play it back and forth. It's the benefit to being a position trader. It's like this could have, like if I would have done pretty much like what, end of the week, this is probably going to hurt the crap out of me. So I know this environment, small position. All right, little bit bigger position. Okay, then that curls back up. Awesome, take my profit. Then it curls up to this area up here. I see a divergence, I can play it again. So now that if we're going to go all the way up to 227, that's where I might apply in my next position. Yes, not today. And everything is sucks and I cannot relate. Everything is fucked and I cannot be saved. Ooh, Amazon's starting to curl over on that MACD. Oh, whoa, AMD. Yo, that's some garbage. Look at that. Look at that. That's so crazy. Damn. 15-minute curls over, we might see a little divergence down here. Just go up a little bit higher. Yeah, I'm starting to build my position. It seems like an okay thing. We're not seeing enough changes in the data, right? We're not seeing massive moves. We're not seeing massive misses or anything like that. Like you could consider that a little bit big, but you're just not necessarily seeing that. Now the quits is up, so that's interesting. But pretty much we know the data now and we go, okay, what's next? You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a piece of the data here. Gotta look around a little bit. Interesting. Okay. So I was looking at the times where job openings is higher while job quits is higher, and actually it says that could be an inflation driver. So because they're leaving looking for a new opportunity, not necessarily like leaving the job because they have to or getting fired or anything like that, more job openings could actually lead to wage deflation, but because the quits is higher as well, it might remain inflated. That's what I was kind of researching real quick, trying to read through some articles just to see what it looks like. All right, 226. Oh, excuse me. $226, we're getting there. Apple started to curl up, positive territory. Look at that. 30-minute rejected the crossing. Might be right, just might not be right now. Or this is just recovering. Watch for that daily to cross back up too. You could see it move here. So fucking find out what I take on. Cause you know it's enough and we're done. You told me think about it, well I did. Alright, what are you guys chatting about? Are you taking any macros into account? A little bit. A little bit for Tesla. The main macro I'm looking at here is just a daily scale, but the daily scale heading up towards the more macro that I'm paying attention to too would be also a monthly expected move is right there. So that's where I'm going to apply it. And I know that this is a crazy bullish move. I know that this is a bullish move, right? So am I going to bet $10,000 behind it? No, I'm going to make it so it's a decent sized position and call it good. And if it loses, and I'll manage the risk, right? Simple, simple. SPY. The SPY, you really got to watch the 2-hour curling up. Whoa. Dollar wicked back up. Volatility didn't. But the SPY 2-hour really important here. You see it kind of trying to curl up a lot, so we'll see if it's right by the center line. Yeah, I know, I saw it was at 227, so my order's filled. NVIDIA might have a downward push, but it's really struggling. I would say 30-minute here. Watch out for a little thing. I think 116 does still look all right for NVIDIA. We'll see what happens from there. Ghost in the Wild. Good. AMC rejecting again. That's a good sign for AMC. GME. Not curling back down just yet. The SPY on the 30-minute is really where I want to be like, okay, maybe a 15-minute even looks better. See that curl down, go down towards that daily expected move. So I'd be looking for this, and if that's able to reverse back around, you got yourself a little play there, right? Maybe going into tomorrow. But if we're going to do this and start to break down further, that's not going to be a good sign, right? So I want to pay attention to more a 2-hour crossing up and a 30-minute or a 15-minute crossing down. But there's not a lot of room today to go down. Unless we're going to see something crazy. But based on the news that we've gotten throughout the day so far, it's pretty much like if AMC starts to rip, maybe something crazy starts to happen. Because it is above $5. That's a big deal. Now you got to get above 555. 555 is the level. It really is. It's being wonky. That's why I think the individual names are more so the trade setups. You'll notice this, we're going to hit the 227 level right above it, all right, and then maybe this starts to drop off. So we're just scaling in. This is not necessarily how I normally do things, but I have reasons to take trades here. So this is one I'm not necessarily posting anywhere because it's more a complicated trade. It is. It's not like the best setup. I like to post things on Patreon that are like very clear setups. Is that a lower high? We'll find out. When I die, I know. Inflation. Jerome Powell apparently said inflation may get back to 2% late next year or the following year. Remember when it was transitory and it was going to be dealt with by now? Let's live. No need to fear the end, 'cause I know. This curls up. This curls down. Curl back up. That might be a... I'll see. Dang, this thing's still going pretty good. Oh, daily. That's what we need to look for. Look at the daily. That daily turns up. You're getting close. Like, the daily turns up. Daily momentum takes over. If this can hold today, that'd be great. If it can even push just a little bit higher, that would be a great sign for AMC. That means you have a high probability to go above 555 on the next day. So unless we're going to see some kind of rigged move down. But if this can confirm, that would be amazing for AMC. It really would. Just being genuine. Doesn't mean I'm going to go 0 DT, whatever, Friday options expiration. No, I'm still going to take positions further out, but I think you do have potential here to see some kind of pop. GME, you need to start turning up, man. SMCI, let's see if that hourly is completing. Starting to. 30 minutes not positive yet, but I need ranges for SMCI, I really do. I would just say, no, you're empty, you're hollow, the fakest one that I know. Ooh, NVIDIA. Curl on the hourly, 2 hour curling over, so that's kind of the most likely scenario here is something like this. Looks like the most likely scenario right now. But you'd have to say that is curling over negative. You haven't created any divergences, anything like that yet. So this doesn't have to happen. You can see something crazy. But right now, I'd say this looks like the most probable setup for NVIDIA. Keep digging deeper till I... TLT dropped off. You gonna give us a higher low here, buddy? Interesting. Is this just gonna build liquidity and then drop? Oh my gosh. How are financials doing? See, they look pretty good, honestly. Pull back, crosses up, pulls back more, lower, higher low, curls up again, positive territory. Financials don't look terrible. Good consolidation, at least. Empty, you're hollow, the fakest one that I know, and you think that you're special. What are you guys talking about? What about AMD? AMD just gave up all of that, man. You need the 2 hour to cross up. That's the move you needed, but it all faded. It all faded. So I still think a 15-minute divergence is necessary down here, especially with that kind of thing happening. You might need the stronger base. So You gave all of it up. Now we have to see what happens from here. If it curls down, then I'd be looking for that divergence down at this level. Literally at this low, you could just make a double bottom. That would be a highly probable trade, right? Fuck everyone eventually. That's why I close my positions every day. Hey, that's fine. It's management of risk, right? Right, Robert? It's management of risk. Hollow looking pretty good today. Uh-oh, what happened with this guy? One of our fun plays. Ooh. All right, you have a 15-minute divergence. Be careful if that thing crosses over. Might not be the moment, but 2-hour curling up. Good divergence. Is the daily turning up now? Daily's turning up, so that turned up yesterday. This all looked pretty good. Just can't escape. Otter, retail, random stock, swing trade. AMC's running. Yeah, 4% now. Look at the daily. Just watch the daily. That daily, if we confirm this, look how you're confirming it right below it. If you confirm this right here, that's going to be a great sign. If the 30-minute crosses over at all today, might not be the best sign. All right? I think, Sean, I think you got a good shot by this week. If it doesn't turn up fully, so I think you would say this about NVIDIA if you're expecting something like that. If it starts to cross above like this, these closing highs right here, like this level right here, if it starts to close above that, it's probably not going to happen. But right now, the weirdly enough, the probabilities are a little bit with you because you got a 2-hour crossing over. So you do have an opportunity to head down even this week towards a weekly expected move of about 116.50. So I think it's not the worst trade setup, especially since you have an extra week. I think that's great. Now you just want to manage that risk, which would tell me the 2 hours turning down, the 30 minutes turning down. If that 30-minute turns up one more time, I'd probably be a little bit more cautious because this could be another little tiny higher low. You guys want some Japanese mayo on these stocks? Wish I didn't do that. What do we do here? Let me see. Let me see if I can edit something. Hold on. Okay, hold on, guys. Give me a second. I'm gonna do something. Give me a second. Oh shit! I don't have my editing tool. Ah, damn it! I don't have my editing tool. Hold on. Hold on. Oh god dang it. We'll put some Japanese mayo on it for a little bit. Wait, what do we really need Japanese? We don't need it on here. What do we really need it on? What do we really need Japanese mayo on? Do we need it on AMC? I think we need it on AMC. There you go. We'll put some Japanese mayo on some AMC. There you go. No volatility play because the SPY, like I said, I think the individual names are the opportunity right now. And I think the SPY hasn't necessarily been moving very well, right? You're seeing a couple stocks go higher, a couple indices go higher while other ones go lower. So you're seeing like, even for the Qs, you're seeing like 4 stocks head down, but 2 stay up. That way the Qs don't fall too much. That way the SPY doesn't fall too much. So that tells me like UVXY is going to decay and things like that. So I don't necessarily want to look at it too much. Not yet. Now, if I was, I would do a long-term something. Tesla. So Tesla, I have 195s that I'm building right now. I have 195s that I'm building right now. So 195 level is pretty much what I'm building. And I'm slowly over time just making that position solid. So pretty much what I'm saying is up in these levels, it's going to revert back to the middle of where those monthly ranges are. So that's why I'm scaling into that position. Well, he mentioned that inflation would be down in 2 years, but also 2 years ago he said inflation will be down in 2 years. Kind of awkward, isn't it? Kind of awkward, right? When you say inflation will be down 2 years, and then 2 years later you're saying inflation will be down in 2 years. Akko taco, you know what I'm saying? Oh look, see, the mayo helped. See, the mayo helped. We got some QPie mayo on there. Just in case we needed some help with this. Maybe GME could use some of that. Should we give GME some of that? Why'd I hit G5? Should we give it? Okay, we'll give GME some now. Here, Jimmy, take some of AMC's mayo. Spray some of that on you. Maybe you'll go up. Yeah, it doesn't, Tom, nothing's going to make sense. It's whatever news they want to tell you to push it out. That's all it is. We didn't necessarily have big reversal signals. The only reason I'm doing a risk to reward play, if you want to be honest about it, it's a risk to reward play. So this is a position for the end of the month. That's key. So someone just asked this week or next week. I don't care when it happens. I'm just saying this is a good risk to reward trade. This is the top side monthly expected move very early on in the month. So I'm taking by the end of the month, this will be somewhere. It will eventually at some point head back down. Now, if that turns down and then starts to turn back up, I'll just take profit on this. I'll break even or take profit with a little bit because that'll be enough to get me some money there. And then if that curls back up towards that again, now I have a solid reversal signal. I can hold that for like 1 or 2 months. See that really drop below 195. But as of right now, it's hit the top of the monthly. I think we're going to revert back down to the middle of where we broke out from. So you see that this is Friday, June 28th right here. This is pretty much where I'm targeting. You want NVIDIA to do something? Ooh, okay, 2-hour pullback? Yeah, this is 2-hour pullback. You're starting to build up, 2-hour pullback. Maybe 1 hour looks good here. Yeah, 1 hour looks pretty good. So this could be the like 1 hour curling up in positive territory. Okay, so right here you see 1 hour turned up, boom. You get a little confirmation on this bar right here coming above 2 moving averages, above the 200. We'll talk about this when we make the swing trading course. I'm literally going to make a swing trading course and put it out for like 50 bucks. I'm dead serious because swing trading is so simple that I don't want to charge a bunch for it, but I'm going to put it out there because it's so simple. And it's very, very good. You still have to manage your risk. It's harder than you think. Like, it's not just buy this, it goes up. Kind of like Johnny Bravo thinks, you know, that kind of thing happens. It's like, no, you got to manage the trade still. So we'll put that out there as well. But hourly turns up here, crosses up on this MACD. Awesome. Take out this high, go make a new one. Now, if you're going to see more dramatic downside, then this daily is going to cross over. So you got to pay attention to your risk at times and be like, okay, this daily is pretty cooked. I can see one more move up, but I got to be cautious with that move. Oh, AMD faked you out a little bit. Yeah, and I know we were talking about, someone was really talking about AMD. I think it was No Assumption. Were you talking about it? But talking about that weekly range, and that's great. You're going to see some kind of bounce. I always just say, if you're going to see a bounce with no base, be cautious with it. Like, you know, you'd expect, hey, maybe it V-shapes. This immediately is not a V-shape, right? Now this was saying, hey, maybe I am V-shaping all of a sudden, and then it just fades right back down. So as of right now, the 30-minute not going positive, so it's just saying bounce right now, and I think your 15-minute has a likelihood here to cross down, create a divergence. That would be a stronger base, all right? And I'm more so like, I know this doesn't help with probably the trade that just faded a bunch that you took, but it's overall saying to me, I need to wait for stronger bases when I trade. That's kind of why I'm telling you that. Up? Is it an old man and a little boy flying around? Whoa, up is up. And it didn't even have mayo on it. That's crazy. All right, see, daily momentum matters, guys. Daily momentum matters. Boom, daily momentum confirmed right here. Big upside move. Great move. That's all I can say about it. As far as it goes, 2 hour, I don't want to be chasing, right? I don't want to be chasing because we're coming up into some liquidity. Awesome. A bunch of highs up here. Let's see if that starts to drop off. What I'd really wait for, 2 hour curl down, 2 hour curl back up. Or 30-minute curl down, 30-minute curl back up, right? We need this to base out. That way we can get a good trade. This would be chasing. Pretty much if you take the current course, you can swing trade very easily. The current course, the $100 course right now, you will be able to swing trade very easily. The swing trading that I'm going to put out is more the exact things you need to do, when to buy, when to sell, you know, teaching you how to really manage the trade. That's more what the swing trading course will be. It'll talk about the environment you need to be in to swing trade to the upside or downside. Swing trading to the downside is harder. It'll talk about all those things. But overall, it's going to tell you clear cut, like this is the signal you're looking for. This is when it can go up. This is the signal you're looking for to get out. Nice, 228 was hit. That's sick, Scott. I hope that was good for you, man. That's awesome. That's a great move. So now I have only about $1,000 behind this, so. And this is where you'll see in real time. All traders can lose money, but I have a whole month for this thing to get right back down to 190, actually anywhere down here, and it'll be in profit. I give you a way to compute them, yeah. I give you a way to do it with any trading platform that you're using. That way it's simple. But to teach you the actual calculation, there's a lot of ways you can mess up the calculation. There's a lot of ways you can mess up the calculation. So I feel even if I told people, they would, you know, I tell people my strategy and I see people still buying early, still doing this, still doing that. So it's kind of like, if I tell you the calculation, are you going to make it wrong and then be like, oh, the course taught me wrong? Because that's what happens some of the time, right? You're going to be like, oh, I did it, but I front ran, and you're not supposed to front run. So, but yeah, I give you a method to do it using, I show it on my fun account, Robinhood. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. If I'm scaling in at the right times, it should be okay. And if it's ever not okay, then I'll look into it. I'll get out of the trade. I'll lose a little bit, and that's perfectly fine. All traders lose money. Any trader that's telling you he's 100% right all the time is just lying to you. They're straight up lying to you if they say, hey, yeah, I just make money 100% of the time. But I'm positioning the trade to still make money. That's the cool part. It's like, oh, okay, my initial $300 I put in is losing money. Okay, awesome. Now how can I really do this in a smart way? Because I'm a position trader, it's going to be fine for me. See a little drop, be fine. If it doesn't drop, hey, I could lose $1,000. Okay, that's what happened to me. What's next? See the mental? Oh, I lost $1,000. What's next? Let me look for another setup. Now, that is a fact, America. So that is something that I was looking into. That's one thing I'm paying attention to, is the monthly. Because if this monthly starts to turn up like this month, we see it just go strong. Tesla is one that I think a lot of the, you would say, deep state maybe does not like Tesla because he promotes free speech and things like that. So this could have a short selling problem in it still. It used to have a short selling problem in it back in the day. Did you guys know that? Tesla was being forced down back in the day. That's why I'm still paying attention to my risk to the upside as we're seeing something crazy. I've just traded stocks enough to know that this is not going to be like the worst setup in the world. And if it is, then my risk is $1,000 now. Cool. You guys know my regular trade size is $15,000, not 33. Sorry, I stuttered. $1,500 to $3,000. That's pretty much what I risk every single week. The slow way is the fast way. I love my dog. Did he tell you to buy Chewy like a week ago? What's AMC doing, guys? Uh-oh, we gotta get some mayo going on it. Let me squirt that. Get some mayo on it. Come on, get some mayo. There you go. Okay, that's a lot of mayo. Okay, that's maybe too much mayo. Maybe we needed to chill out for a second. Usually contract-wise, it's like depends on the trade. So this one, now that Tesla went like up, I can have a bunch of contracts. I can have something around 30 contracts maybe for Tesla. So I'm still looking. I have my order that was slightly filled, my next one, and now I'm looking to invest the full 1,000. So I just have a little bit left to see when this thing is going to pull back. If it creates a 5-minute divergence, gives me any kind of hint here, that's when I'll apply the rest of it, just a little bit, like 250 more. And what that'll allow me to do is buy that 195 contract for maybe like 20 cents. So I could buy 10 contracts maybe up in this area. I think it'll be about 20 cents. 230 is crazy. And what would be crazier is if it just went like that. And it's kind of like a, I think that they are not estimating the amount of risk that this kind of move actually has right now, and that's what I'm banking on, and that's why things are pretty cheap. AMC needs more mayo. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. You guys, did the 30-minute crossover? Oh, we're good. We're fine. We're fine. Yo, where's my mayo at, homie? There it is. Eh. It needs more. It needs more. It's alright. Everybody tells me I'll be fine. Everything is not a fucking K. It needs more than this. It needs more than this. Alright, give it a full sandwich. AMC, quickly eat this. Eat this, it will help. We'll put more mayo on the sandwich. Come on. We'll help you. Eat the mayo. It's from Japan. I know their yen is really sucking right now, but please. Please. That looks pretty good. I'd eat that. We're out of eggs right now, though. Deep end, everything is changing. Memories are fading. Hitting the weekly 200 for Tesla. Seeing something crazy outside that weekly expected move. Every time you saw that, talking near and waiting. Daily just got really overbought too for Tesla. Oh, I have the trend line differently on my other charts. It looks better, actually. Maybe I'll fix that. And the other part, like, since someone's saying, you know, be careful, 234. The other part is a little bit of common sense. You know, when you just like, do you guys ever have those moments where you just have some common sense and you're like, yeah, that looks like a recovery, but is that really going to last? Like, is this really the smart thing to do, is to like get into this trade, or is it probably going to back off? Like, just a little common sense there. But if it doesn't, that's fine. I know my risk. I still manage my risk based on that with only $1,000 trade. 2, 3. So now I can look for a little signal in here. I think we'll see a rug pull today. I don't know if I'm necessarily seeing any rug pull behavior. Yeah, we're not necessarily seeing anything that could lead to dramatic. Now, Jesus Christ, are you kidding? Like, is the housing sector just going to shit the bed every single day? This is crazy. You're like, oh, there's no weakness. Well, the housing sector is suffering. And a lot of the time, guys, when I'm investing, I follow the housing sector, by the way. You know, that's actually a good thing to do, is to follow the housing sector, which is kind of interesting because this thing has been dropping dramatically for a long time. When I invest, I actually look at the housing sector and see if that's turning back up. Because you'll see we turned back up sometime in May. And guess what? We turned back up in May, right? A day later. So the housing sector gave me a day in advance here on the daily scale. I don't think... I think it would be interesting if we did drop, but you are getting a time where you're moving sideways, and most of the time we've led to another push higher, right? But what's going to happen with the time we move sideways and see a drop? We haven't really seen that, but look at this, sideways a little bit, big drop. See there, we keep getting these type of days. So we could just see something like that. We'll see. I don't see anything really saying rigged besides the dollar just being dramatically higher while the stock market is higher as well. All right, Tesla, what are you doing? The trend I have on my other charts is more so... No, this is still a good trend. I think that's still a good trend. We're going to leave it. Yeah, and I think that's why it's the individual names. So it's just the individual names had a lot of implied volatility. Some of them, Tesla was one of them. Tesla had a lot of implied volatility. And so that's like, this is a big pop. We could see a big drop. There's implied volatility there. But when it came to the SPY and the Qs, it was kind of lower. It was lower than last week for sure. So not a massive move here, not a massive move here. AMC, you really just wanted to cross up this daily chart. You cross up this daily chart, it's a great thing. These are all great moves. This is great. This is fan-frickin-tastic. It really is. Rise Reason, I don't really pay attention to fundamentals because fundamentals, back when I was a fundamental trader, I did, let's say, not well 10 years ago when I was trying to do fundamental trading. So now I'm a technical trader only, and I know if this curls up, positive territory. I know if the 30-minute does not cross over today, then we are not going to see a pullback. I know all of those things, okay? I don't need why it's going higher. I'm not going to wait for Roaring Kitty to post in order to take a trade. I'm going to look at the low here. I'm going to see a divergence and then see that say, hey, we could be seeing an upward move, and now we're seeing the upward move. That's all I pay attention to. Made money today. Congratulations, Scott. Hey, awesome, Jagger. I hope things are going forward. No. No, I'm not. No reason to be sorry. I'm just trying to clarify because people ask about fundamentals a lot, and I'm like, if you follow fundamentals, you're just going to get the press releases from the people who are trying to trick you, pretty much. Like, you can do your own research by looking into the data yourself. But you mean by 30-minute does not pull back. So when I researched AMC, for the big moment, the big squeeze, the 30-minute turned up. It never turned back down until it hit like $300 or something crazy, right? So, and at the top, you actually saw this. This is what you saw at the top on a 30-minute scale. You saw a divergence. So you want the perfect sell? Look for a 30-minute divergence. That's going to be it once you're at higher levels. But what I'm saying here is I've researched it. When the moment happened, the 30-minute curled up, it never curled back down. So that would tell me if this curls down, this means my momentum indicator is stating AMC needs a pullback. Most likely, if AMC is saying, I need a pullback, it's not going to burst up to the sky. Most likely, it can still happen. That's why I'm still holding the underlying stock, right? But if this turned down and then turned back up, that would be the next big signal. It would say, I'm curling up in positive territory. A positive move can happen, and we can get above, maybe go test 555. If you hold above 555, you cross up on the daily, I think you're going to see something crazy. And it's really close to happening. So if this can hold throughout the day, it'd be a good sign. Anyone still have AMC firm when it was 312? I started paying attention at... Actually, I started really paying attention at these levels. Hey, Mattisfaction, thank you for the €5. Appreciate it. And that'll pop up on the screen, and we'll all say, thank you, Mattisfaction. So we started really paying attention. I was late to it, so we started paying attention to it literally after this big move. And that's where we've really been talking about these 2-hour curl-ups. We've really been talking about the 2-hour curl-ups because we talked about this in this area, this choppiness. And then we talked about curling up. Can it go positive? Big move. And then we go down, we curl up. What do we see again? Choppiness, just like over here. Now we curl down, curl up, boom. Right here, it said, now you have the chance to see a crazy move. We got to see if that thing's going to happen. Look at SMCI again. Ooh, did it not curl up on the hourly yet? I got it when the Walking Dead thing. Okay, there's a cross up on the hourly, but you're seeing some interesting bar here, getting a little bit of sideways movement. I'd maybe look. If that hourly remains crossed, I think it's a good sign, because look at these, you're kind of holding up here. But if that 15-minute crosses down, I'd be a little bit cautious. So it could say, wait, what does it have? 45 minutes left in the bar? 45 minutes left in the bar. Chill for that 45 minutes. You know, you got to be patient. This is just teaching patience right here. Chill for the 45 minutes. Relax for a bit. Be like, let me see if this 15-minute crosses over. If it doesn't, and that hourly makes a move like that, and you see that cross up, well, then you could say, okay, now I need to think about, hey, I'm taking a divergence play. Let me manage the risk in case there's a rigged move. But if that hourly turns up, you got a good probability of this going positive. You're still a contrarian here. You're contrarian bullish here. But it does have a good probability to make a move. Now you need to have weekly ranges and things like that to help you out with profit taking, which is what we'll teach you in the course. And someone asked, I think it was Tom maybe asked, or someone asked, you know, do we teach you how to do the calculation? We don't necessarily. You can look up the calculation right now and give it a whirl. Just type in, calculate the expected move. But I give an easier way. That way you can just make it quickly. It's pretty good. I've used it before and it does work. So it's good for profit taking still. So here you go. This curls up, positive things. I would just be a little bit patient, right? 45 minutes. Wait for 3 bars to complete. Make sure this 15-minute is not curling over. So if the 15-minute curls over, negative territory is there. So you might say, even if that hourly completes, but this 15 minutes curling over, wait for that thing to base out, curl back up. Wait for it to do this. That would be a better risk play there, right? You're managing your risk a little bit better. Shopify. Same, a little bit of the same here for the 15-minute, right? If that curls down, it's not a good thing. It means I'm pulling back for a higher low, or maybe because I'm negative, I could even test this low, go make a new one. Maybe I need to make a stronger base. So pay attention to that first thing. Now we want to look at the other time frames here. 30-minute crossed up, but if that 15-minute curls down, 30-minute might follow. All right, hourly hasn't turned up yet. All right, I want to look at a 2-hour because I think you might have divergence here. Weirdly enough, you have a little bit of like hidden divergence. We never really discuss hidden divergence. You don't see it too much. That's kind of hidden divergence. You see how the lows here are still higher up than this low here? And then we have the downward move on the RSI. That's actually a hidden divergence a little bit. So 2-hour curls up, positivity. It looks like you're going to do this weird thing here. It looks like you're going to maybe get tighter here. So do you see how you're kind of in the structure? So it looks like you might need to get tighter before something happens. But 2 hour crosses up, you got a good chance for a move. See if you break out. 15-minute curls down, I'd say a pullback is going to happen one more time. Let's look at it on a daily too, just in case. Yeah, see daily as well. That's why you got to be a little careful here. You're below the 200. You're building up liquidity. All it has to do is close like that, close down here, and you're going to cross over in negative territories there. So I'd be very cautious with this. What I'd like to look for in the future is like maybe this before earnings could be a good sign. Now earnings 50-50 flip, so you got to manage your risk there. Make sure you're not risking too much if you have to take the play. I don't like to trade around earnings. The multiple contracts. See, Sean, I don't think, you know, from a risk to reward, if you know what you're doing with it, I know what I'm doing with it. I'm perfectly comfortable losing something like $1,000. So not very scared of this at this point. I just think we're going to make a move towards the middle of the range, down towards 197. I have 195 in case something crazy happens, but I'm just playing this as I want the value of 195 to get higher, so people really want that put position, and then that's going to go up in value, and then I can take that thing to the bank and maybe use that trade to buy more GME or AMC. Now we haven't seen a 30-minute curl over yet, so I'm not even convinced that this is the top for Tesla yet until this thing pulls back. We got to see this thing pull back. That's a hard rejection there. Everybody's zombified. Like it's formaldehyde. I love you guys to the Death Star and back. Oh yeah, Jared. Zombified. A lot of people in our society today are zombified. That's why I like this song a lot. God, Matisfaction. That Euro sign looks, I'm not gonna lie, I think the Euro sign is cool. Like dollar sign, but the Euro sign I think is cool. I got him. What does it get? Voice in my head again. Now I am medicated. Help me temporarily. Oh. Back with the question. Back with the message. What's a song that I know like a lot of words to? There's a song I really like by oh, what's it called? It's called Happy by NF. Is that it? Happy by NF is pretty good. I don't really like Watch the World Burn that much. I prefer Popular Monster by Falling in Reverse. Oh, look at that. My option's already going up in price a little bit here. Looks nice. Now, I'm not going to get cocky with it. I'm just joking around, guys. But a 30-minute pullback looks very likely here. Play the center of the range. That's all I'm doing. I'm not sure if I should say this. Fuck, I'll say it anyway. Everybody tries to tell me that I'm going through a phase. I don't know if it's a phase. I just want to feel okay. Yup. Question still remains if it's post-traumatic stressing or in my suppressant rage. All right, let's look at some stuff, guys. Is AMC doing good with our Mayo? Where the heck's my Mayo? Why does my Mayo keep hiding? I'm about to break down, looking for a way out. Apple continues higher. Let's go look at Apple for a second here, see if it's creating anything, because that is a massive good move there. This looks like we could create the cup and handle scenario now. This would be great. You got the retest and everything. It looks good. 30-minute never crossed over. The wall that I knocked down is just a wall that I replace. I'm going to race against myself. I try to keep a steady pace. Another thought is that just another second that I waste is another second sooner to a pressing I will take. Yeah, I think be patient. Motherfucker, now you got my attention and don't you change a couple things cause something is missing. Okay, so the daily did turn up here. Jeez, this is the weird part. This is why I think the market is rigged, actually, is because you're seeing multiple weeks of the same. A lot of stocks will move out of their expected move multiple weeks in a row. You just don't see that very often at these levels. But Apple didn't look very clear for the week. Falling apart. Don't get overexcited, Apple. Let me take that as something. Yeah, so that's the thing, and I think we're gonna see moves where it's like, oh, now this stock heads down while other stocks head up. Watch, Nvidia's probably gonna catch a bid while Tesla drops. Thoughts on SPY for the rest of the day? Let's go check it out for a sec. If that 2 hour curls over, you might see something crazy, but let's go deep into the 30-minute here. Right now, the probabilities are you're still gonna bounce, right? That's the probabilities right now, and you're kind of slowly trickling up. So here, how about I'm gonna leave you guys here for a second. Let me go use the restroom and say hi to the girls for a second, and I'll be right back. And then we'll get into some more analysis here. So give me like 2 minutes, I'll be right back. And then we'll go over some of this stuff. All right, guys, we have a little bit of, not the best news, but a little bit of a, not necessarily family emergency, just mom's feeling a little bit overwhelmed today. So I'm going to have to hop off. She's feeling a little overwhelmed and I don't like to see that. So if something crazy happens by the end of the day, I will hop on, but I really want to help her out because taking care of a baby is stressful sometimes, right? And she's not getting a lot of sleep at night, so I want to give her some time to rest. I popped up there and Yeah, she just seems a little bit overwhelmed. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm really sorry. I really wanted to watch this kind of stuff with you guys, but for now, let's end it with AMC just getting a little bit more mayo. We'll spray some mayo on it to end the stream here, and I'll have to leave you guys with that for the day. And I'm sorry about that. I know it's very like all of a sudden, but I went up there and checked, and we got to take care of our family. That's the most important part. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. We're putting mayo all over this for you guys. Maybe we'll leave it on AMC for a little bit. Remember, if that thing pulls back, all right, 30-minute pulls back, that's not the moment, right? So you just want to see if that's able to turn up again at any time if that wants to pull back, but we're not pulling back right now. So see if that daily is able to turn up. I think if that daily turns up today, it's going to be a good thing for AMC. I'm sorry I didn't really do the breakdown for the SPY that we really liked, but like you guys are saying in the chat there, family first always. Okay, guys. So I'm going to leave you guys on the stream for a little bit. If you want to hang out in here, watch AMC together, chat back and forth, that's perfectly fine with me, and I'll leave it for a little while. Okay. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys being understanding, and thank you guys for showing up and liking the video today. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, guys. See ya.